Okay, let's look at some of these cracks in more detail. I wasn't able to include everything in those previous videos, but I did show the highlights and kind of the major components. So for example, this crack right here on the side of my foot, I was pretty scared to go just straight up with the grating because I was also afraid that it might yank it and like rip it, which would make it bleed, and that would be really bad. You guys already know that this skin does not just peel upward. But I discovered, like right here, I was really afraid to go upward, but it wasn't coming off going downward. So I decided to kind of go sideways and even then go backwards sideways, which I don't know the better description for that. But I discovered that it really just grinds it right off or grates it right off instead of ripping it upward. And then I became a bit more bold around this crack. Here's clips from throughout the rasping as I was going along and continuing to come back to this area. And you can see by the end, I was almost going straight up on it. And I was able to get the cracks pretty thin. I am wondering to myself if I use this rasp often enough, whether these cracks will even continue or whether they'll be able to heal and just disappear completely. A very interesting and exciting prospect. So we will discover that together over time. Here's me doing the same location type crack on my other foot. Sort of in conjunction with doing all the skin around it. But I was being really careful, especially because this foot was the first one that I did. So I was like nervous that I might hurt myself or might go too deep or might accidentally rip the skin. But I discovered very quickly that like generally going over it downward or sideways was getting most of the skin, but then to really clean it up, I did have to go upward. And at the very end of this video, you'll see me go straight upward on one of the cracks, and it didn't rip it or hurt it at all. It's pretty awesome tool. The way it works is that these little tines have cupped openings or like flared openings in both directions, but they're very slim. They don't protrude far from the tool. And so it really does just like very lightly grind away at the skin in both directions. I was really having trouble getting that crack down there by my thumb. I had to kind of use the corner edge of the tool and really like push it up into the crack to try and get some of that off. But I'm hoping that like with continued regular use, these cracks might actually disappear. And here I am like actually going vertically straight up against that crack. And it was no problem, especially because now I was getting into the wetter skin, the softer skin that wasn't peeling up so readily. They are still a little dark and stained, and that is like dirt, dust that's stuck deep in the crack, and I'm just hoping they will grow out, and then I can actually like maybe completely file them all the way off and they will never come back. Fingers crossed, you guys. We will see.